Types of ratios. Before we jump on to the types of ratios, we must know the meaning of a ratio. What is a ratio? To understand this, let's suppose we need to make a sugar syrup. According to the recipe, the sugar syrup needs to have 3 parts of water and 2 parts of sugar. This means that the ratio of water to sugar in the sugar syrup must be 3:2. We can also write this ratio as 3:2 and it is read as 3:2. Therefore, a ratio is comparison of two similar quantities using division. In a ratio, the first term is called antecedent and the second term is called consequent. The order of a ratio is important because on reversing the antecedent and consequent, a different ratio is obtained. Since a ratio is comparison of two similar quantities, so it is a pure number without any units. Now that we have understood the meaning of a ratio, let us now understand some different types of ratios. We have 6 types of ratios. They are compound ratio, duplicate ratio, subduplicate ratio, triplicate ratio, subtriplicate ratio and reciprocal ratio. Let us understand them one by one. The first type of ratio is compound ratio. If we have two ratios, that is A is to B and C is to D, then their compound ratio is given as ratio of product of the antecedent and the consequence. This means that compound ratio equal to A into C is to B into D. The second type of ratio is duplicate ratio. If we have a ratio A is to B, then its duplicate ratio is given as ratio of square of the antecedent and consequent. This means that duplicate ratio equal to A square is to B square. The third type of ratio is subduplicate ratio. If we have a ratio A is to B, then its subduplicate ratio is given as ratio of square root of the antecedent and the consequent. This means that subduplicate ratio equal to root A is to root B. The fourth type of ratio is triplicate ratio. If we have a ratio A is to B, then its triplicate ratio is given as ratio of cube of the antecedent and the consequent. This means that triplicate ratio equal to A cube is to B cube. The fifth type of ratio is subtriplicate ratio. If we have a ratio A is to B, then its subtriplicate ratio is given as ratio of cube root of the antecedent and the consequent. This means that subtriplicate ratio equal to cube root A is to cube root B. The sixth type of ratio is reciprocal ratio. If we have a ratio A is to B, then its reciprocal ratio is given as ratio of reciprocal of the antecedent and the consequent. It is also written as reverse, that is compound ratio, duplicate ratio, subduplicate ratio, triplicate ratio, subtriplicate ratio and reciprocal ratio. These ratios are very helpful in solving various types of problems.